Hello, I'm Paul here. Today I'm going to be talking about a strategy. Now, if you guys seen my last video, I talked about this strategy with the stock market. Today I'm going to be going over the same strategy for trading crypto. And it's pretty much the same thing, but it's kind of like it's setting it up with a custom stochastic really, and some other indicators on there that really help you see a lot of patterns a lot easier. Uh, Now, if you watched the last video, there's specific rules that you need because of options, and you have to, if you're doing it on Robinhood, you have certain expirations. But with this, you can look at this whenever time frame you want. But I'm going to kind of give you guys the best scenario when trading crypto. We're going to look at a couple cryptos. I'm going to show you how to set it up, like I have it. And then we're going to look at a couple cryptos and then a couple time frames to see where you can get the best results from the strategy. So it's about a 3 or 4 indicator setup. So I'm going to set you up on how to set it up, and then I'll walk you through a couple scenarios on what to look for in the charts. Okay, so to set this up, you're going to need 4 indicators. First thing is you're going to have to set up the linear lines. I've made videos about this one, so I won't go much into it. The next one you want to set up is your 90-95, which I've made videos about that, so I won't be talking about that as much. And then you'll need a custom CM stochastic and then your EMA difference here. So I'm going to show you how to set this up. The first thing you want to get to is your linear line. So you want to go to linear regression. It's the top one right there. And once you have that, you want to hide your regular candles. And then the next one, you're going to want to have, now I use Ghost Marker Pro, but anybody else, you're going to have to plug it in with the free version here, and you're going to have to load up CM EMA trim bars, and you have to click that 2 times. And with those settings, you're going to be putting 90 and 95. I have it all because this is a paid indicator, but if you guys don't want the Ghost Marker Pro, I've made videos on it too. So basically, you want to load up your 90 and your 95 with the CM. Now you have to use the CM EMA trim bars, and you have to click it twice and put it in 90 and 95. If you don't do that, it's not going to be color coded. You won't see it like it is here. You could do this for regular moving averages, but they won't be color coded. And I found that having it color coded helps out a lot. Okay, the next one, you want to have your EMA difference down here, and you want to change your settings to, so it's going to be, to access this one, you're going to have to go to difference of 2 moving averages, and you're going to change your settings to 2025. And then the last one here is the custom stochastic here. Now let me show you what it looks like by default. If you go to CM stochastic, it's going to look like this. What you want to do is you want to get it looking more like the top. You basically want to remove all the noise, everything except for the lines. So basically you come in through here, and the only thing you keep is this top part here. You want to make sure your green is a bright green, so bring up the opacity. I take down the thickness. Then your red, your bearish, you want to bring up the opacity, you want to take down the thickness. And then this neutral color, I have it at white, but you want to be basically be doing the same thing, turn on the thickness. So I make it white, I make it a color that stands out. So everything else you're going to check off. Yeah, it's the 0 line and the 100 line, so if you want to make this more thick. So you'll be keeping your 100 line and your 0 line. And you check out everything else. You don't want that background, and then you'll get it looking like, take down the thickness there, take down the thickness here, change that to a white, turn down the thickness. And so it's look pretty close to what I have there at the top. So that's how you set it up. So anyway, the formula is really simple. You want to focus on higher time frames. The higher the better. Now, if we'll go out to the day chart here. We'll look at Bitcoin here for a second. The higher you go into the time frames of this, the better your results will probably be. what you want to look for is you want to look at your CM stochastic, and you want to find the moment where it goes neutral. So basically, you want to enter when that the point you enter is when it becomes neutral, basically. So the longer you go in time frames, the longer you're going to have to wait. But the longer you go in time frames, the better the results should be. But you want to come in, you want to enter your trade when everything turns neutral. Now, usually the pattern here is it'll go from a red, neutral, green, or green, neutral, red. So when you see it turning white, it's usually going to go in the opposite direction of where it has been going. That's not always the case, but to make the best judgment of this, you want to also look at your linear line and see what the candles are currently doing. So it doesn't always go from red, neutral, green, or green, neutral, red. You got to have a little bit of common sense and see what the candles are doing with the linear line. So use a little bit of common sense there. So let's look at a couple examples here on the day with Bitcoin. So right here on the day chart, we see that it comes neutral, but then we see all the candles on top of the linear line, so we pretty much can predict that the pattern is going up. So we don't see that you always want to go with the trend. So right here, we could pretty much, we'll enter when it turns neutral, but since the candles are above the linear line, we pretty much can predict that the pattern's going up. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You could enter on a pullback, like what you see right here. We know that the trend is going up. So you could focus on when there's a little bit of a pullback, like what you see right here, and you could basically enter right here. You can enter right here, or you can enter right here. And once it turns white, you'll know you can enter your trade. So let's look at a couple other examples. We want to look for the neutral zone. That's the first thing we look for. We want to look for when everything goes neutral, which is right here. And right here we go, it's red, neutral, green. So it's what I was talking about. So right here you would enter and you would just ride this out. And you'd be in profit right there. And let's see if we can find another. Right here it turns white. So this goes red, neutral, green. So this is what I was talking about. So we go from neutral right here. And we want to pay attention to what is happening with the linear line. So that'll give us a good idea if it's going to be, red, neutral, green, or if by chance it's going to be green, neutral, green. Just look at your linear line and you'll get a better idea of what it's doing. So right here it turns neutral, and if we rode this out for, this was 9 days, and you would have made some profit right there. So I'll look at a couple other examples right here. Right here we see green, and then we see neutral. But we also see it crossing down with the linear line, so we know that it's probably having a little bit of pullback right there. So that would be another entry point right about here. So you would enter here and ride it out, and you'll be in profit right there. So let's real quickly look at some smaller time frames. Now with this strategy, I only do the day, the 6 hour, and the hour. It works the best. I don't do smaller time frames with this because you'll enter into consolidation periods. So anyway, let's look at the 6 hour. See if we find the same results. So right here we see a red, neutral, and then green. So we enter right when it comes neutral, right about here. If we look at our linear line, we know that it's crossing the linear line, so we know that it's a good trade, and it's going to go in that direction. You can ride this out, and then you'll be in profit. We see, now from the 1995, you could tell that you are in a uptrend, so if you took it right here, you know that this is going against the trend. But we see neutral right here, and we could ride it out, and this is going against the trend, but you would still be in profit. So right here we see neutral right here. We also see it hovering over the linear line, and we also see that the trend is up. So we would enter right about here, and we could ride this out. We could ride it out to all the way up here, and you'd be in profit. So that's kind of how you do this. You look at the CM stochastic, you look at you wait for it to turn white, and then you look at your linear line, and you see if the linear line is behaving in the same way that the stochastic is. There will be some fake outs, but from the most part, it usually goes from red, neutral, green, or green, neutral, red. If you do this in a longer time frame, now if you do this in a smaller time frame, let's just do the hour real quick. We'll do the hour, okay? So we know the direction's going up, but this is going against the trend. You see green, neutral, red. So you come in right about here. You see the candles going below the linear line. So you would enter right about here. And you write it out. This is going against the trend, but you still would be in profit. You see red, neutral, green. So you would enter right here. You also see it crossing up on the linear line, so you know that's pretty much a good direction. And you go up, and you'll be in profit right there. Right here, we see green, neutral, red, and we see, so basically, we see it go right about here. You ride this out very briefly, and you'll be in profit going against the trend. Red, we see red, neutral, green right here. So you would enter right here. You also see it hovering over the linear line, so you know it's pretty much the right direction. You can ride this out up here, and you'll be in profit. So anyway, this strategy works really well. It works well for any type of asset. It's kind of a custom strategy that I've kind of looked. It took like a year and a half to kind of uncover all this kind of custom strategy. You know, it took buying Ghost Market Pro to learn about the 90.95, and then it experimenting around and figuring about the 90.95, and then also learning about the linear lines, and then looking at the CM stochastic. So it took a little bit of time for me to find this custom formula, but it works really well. It works well for crypto, it works well for stocks, and it works well for other assets. But anyway, if you guys like this strategy, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.